Hey everybody, I'm just doing a quick video today about a future project for 2025. I'm going to do just a quick talk about it and then an unboxing of the 2-player starter set. What I have in front of you today is Rumbleslam. It's a game by TT Combat, and sort of like in the vein of Blood Bowl, it's a game of fantasy wrestling is the way they describe it. So it's a wrestling game. And so in this, what I ended up getting is I went into this with a friend where we both got the starter set and we both got an expansion pack and an extra figure. And so you can, with the starter set box, as I'll mention, it comes with miniatures. I also got an additional team. This one is for Kaiser's. I think it's supposed to mean Caesar's Palace, but it's spelled with a K. Kaiser's Palace, the headliners. And so it actually matches one of the factions in the box set. And so I just thought I'd expand that one. You can use any miniature with any team in this game. It's just that you get little bits of bonuses at times if you're using the same casinos, which is what the factions are called. So I'm going to unbox this one in a future video, but they also sell blister packs, and this is a star player. This one happens to be I forget what they call it, like a wild card, or he doesn't belong to any particular casino. I thought he looked really fitting for the primarily humanoid troops, and I just thought one of the reasons why I like this game is I find it in its funny vein. It's kind of very goofy in a lot of ways, and that's kind of really what I was looking for, is just something that I could play kind of quickly and just have a little bit of fun with, kind of like you would with Blood Bowl, in between playing bigger games of, let's say, French Indian War or Warhammer Fantasy. And so this one is Fable, and I'll unbox him in a different video. And so what I'll do next is just unbox this starter set. So inside the box, the first thing I pulled out here is the Rumbleslam rulebook. It's a softcover rulebook. As you can see from here, it's kind of like normal readability. It's not too small as far as the font, filled with lots of pictures. And this, for those of you that don't know, this game has been around for at least 8 years, because I see videos like on YouTube from 8 years ago. And so this isn't a new game. It's in its second edition. This comes with the second edition rulebook. One of the nice things is TT Combat is, they have a community on Facebook. They actively support this game. It's been around for a while. They're still releasing sets. They've just released one not that long ago as far as like expansions. And so it isn't just sort of a fly-by-night thing. And as you can see, the TT Combat logo down here. Because it is a wrestling game, you do get a mat with it. It's a mouse pad material. This is essentially a ring, and because you can go on the turnbuckles, you'll see it's kind of hard on this lighting that I have here to see, but you'll see there's clearly defined X's, because this is where like a character can go on a turnbuckle. When you're playing the game, there are spaces, so it is a grid-based game. It's not just a complete, tabletop without a grid. So that is, facilitated by the rules and movement and things. TT Combat also does produce an MDF ring itself, so you could actually have a 3-dimensional ring, and you could like spruce it up and have this, really cool looking ring for the game. In addition to that, I'm going to go over the miniatures last. I know that's kind of what people want to see the most, but I'll just mention really quickly that you get some really nice components with the game. You're getting dice, so you do get specific dice. Characters, I think it's easier to show a card here, but characters have attributes that actually are based on the dice color that you roll. And so like in this case, it's a copper +1, without going into the rules at this point, you're rolling a copper die and adding +1. But then you have a silver die, you also have a gold die, and there's a difference in these dice. You can see, like the gold die, you can see how there's 4 here on there. That's because there isn't really, none of the other dice go up that high. It's like a very powerful die reserved for that. So in addition to 3 different kinds of die that you use in the game, you also get a crowd die that cheers and boos, and that actually is affects within the game the rules and what you can do. So the crowd is an integral part. Since I have the card out, I'll just show. I mean, I got, with this starter set, you get 2 sets of cards. I've literally just opened this, so I have not actually pulled the cards out. But you can see, you do get, like, there's a goblin here and a halfling here. You do get a team that has goblins, orcs, and a troll as, like, their big star player. Like, you get a large troll. And then on this team, you get humans with, I believe it's humans, halfling, and an ogre, which is a large model that's an ogre. So they're kind of symmetrical in the way they make the 2 starting teams in the set. You can then add and subtract models as you get them from those teams however you want. Yeah, and so on these cards, they're nice cards. You get, like, a, you know, special rules and attributes, and even the price, you know, to build your team for each one. And then all of these, you know, obviously correspond with the rules on how to play the game. The back actually has some more information on the special rules for that particular miniature. So those are the cards. You do get some nice... before I go to the bases, these have to be punched out, but you get a whole bunch of acrylic tokens that you can use within the game. And so these all punch out, but they're very nice. All acrylic stuff, which is really cool. I like acrylic, you know, like they could have just done it as MDF or something, but that's really nice for the longevity of them. You get clear bases. These look blue, but I believe you just pull off probably the, I'm guessing you would pull off and that they're clear. But yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Sorry, I'm just looking to see whether... They might have a blue tinge to them, actually. They might even just have a blue tinge to them. But they're basically a clear, so you could use them on your mat and see the mat underneath. You get ones for each team. And I will pan back and show you the most fun part in the 2 teams that you get. So in the box set, you get 2 teams. One is the Heavy Pounders, the other is the Green Bruisers. For the Heavy Pounders, looks like these are resin miniatures. And the largest of them is this ogre. It looks fairly clean. It looks like there might be, like anything, a little bit of cleanup that has to happen. Like, I mean, here's the resin miniature peg, but then also it's a little bit of flashing. But actually not too much. It seems pretty clean overall. Looks like he might have a ring on his finger too that has a little bit of flashing on it. There are 2 humans. There's this one. And then there's this one. So you can see this, some nice definition in the sculpts. Bit of flashing right there. And then we have, it seems to be 2 halflings. A lot of times, from my cursory look at this, there are, I guess, characters that primarily focus on grappling and characters that primarily focus on striking. There's a big piece of flash right there that has to be carefully cut off of that finger pointing. But I do like the look of this halfling here. It looks pretty cool. little bit of a mold line here that has to be scraped. There too. And so that's the, I'll call it the humanoid team. I don't know. I mean, there's an ogre on it, so, but there's humans, halflings, and an ogre. I'll be right back with the green bruisers. So they're on the same size base, but the green bruisers have a huge troll who's bigger than the ogre, but on the same size base. And it looks like he's multi-part. You've got like a, looks like it fits in really nice here. Little bit of, like any sort of multi-piece, you'll want to probably put a little bit of green stuff there, but it actually looks really a nice fit. A lot of times with models like resin models or models that are multi-part, that are not plastic injection molded, I find I have to do a lot of cleanup to get them to kind of move in kind of nicely, but this is not the case here. It's really pretty nice. This is a really nice model. If you look at the face detail here, it's pretty nice. So yeah, large miniature for sure. Yeah, looks good. And so there you also, with this one, get two what I believe to be orcs. And so you have this one, which by the pose makes me think he's a grappler, the way he has his hands like this. And then we have this one, which makes me think, look, he's a little flashing on the chin there and here. He's the striker, I'm thinking, with the way he's holding his fist. These goblins have lots of nice detail, but you got a goblin here that, let me just, the way he's pointing his fingers like that, he looks really cool. I like his hat. And then you've got another one here as well. Yeah, a bit more cleanup, I would say, on this particular one, but nice looking detail, I think. I like these goblins because these are not, you know, specifically GW goblins, and so it's always interesting to see how other people do goblins. Yeah, they look pretty cool. So last thing I'll just say is, I'll just pull this out here while we're talking, but the Rumbleslam box. One of the things that's really funny about a lot of this is it's got all of your, a lot of references to professional wrestling. You know, the characters of professional wrestling that are named slightly different, you know, when you buy the expansions and stuff. And it just seems to be a really fun game in that sense. And so that's kind of why I kind of purchased it. I just thought it would be kind of fun. And looks like a lot of this flashing is coming off just by handling them. It's not even on there it won't require that much work, I think, to get it off. But I think it just seems to have a lot of flavorful and fun character packs, and I will go through the expansion in the future that I purchased, just like this one. And I'm hoping to get this stuff, you know, worked on in early in the new year, and hopefully maybe have some content. In my last video, I think I did mention it very specifically. My last update, those who kind of helped me get into this, but I'll just mention Justin Borges over at 10-4 Miniatures is the one that initially got me kind of interested in this, and his link's in my last video if you have not seen his 10-4 Miniatures. He's been playing this game for years, and I've always been interested in it. And then also Mini Warmud has been putting some recent content up of his purchases of this, and that kind of made me kind of recently think about it again and decide to get into it. So All right, hope everybody's Christmas was really great, that everybody has a happy New Year's, and talk to you later.